Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. I am Dr. Kalwayanita, Assistant Professor, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Osmania University. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about diffusion of innovation. Let's try to understand what is diffusion of innovation. Who gave this theory? Everett Rogers, a pioneer of diffusion studies. Now, what is an innovation? You all must be knowing about it. In today's generation, you know it more about this innovation. Rogers, during that time only, defined it as an idea perceived as new by the individual, something which is new. Innovation means something which is new. It does not matter if it is objectively new, or what matters is the individual feels it is new. So, in later editions, innovation also means a new practice or an object. So, what is diffusion? Innovation means something which is new, whether it is earlier discovered or not, but some addition has been done to it, also considered as a new itself. And then he discussed also what is a diffusion. The term diffusion means in research examines how ideas spread among from one group to another group. Spreading the innovation is nothing but diffusion of innovation means spreading the new inventions for public. So, where should we spread this new innovation? How do we do that, and how did he understand this particular theory? Let us try to understand. Everett Rogers, in the pioneer of diffusion studies of media technologies, was an farm boy trained in modern agriculture. So, this theory had his birth from the agriculture sector. So, he was also working in the agricultural sector as a farm boy. There he identified this theory. So, when he found his home community less than impressed with his stock of innovations in agriculture. Yes, agriculture is one of the important sector where many of us are dependent and innovation is mostly required. So, in this area he found certain new things and tried to put them in front of the world. Outside his country, he had a marked influence in the field of agricultural extension. So, this particular theory is mostly found in the agricultural extension and in the sector of agriculture. Through his book on diffusion of innovation, on this theory name itself, he has written a book which over the years has been explained and updated in the second and third editions and many editions available in the market. Most popular book. And he developed this concept and theory of this diffusion of information from a synthesis of diffusion research studies in the developing world as well. And also he defines the innovation as an idea perceived by the individual. So, there is one practice that has been going on from a long period of time, but you break it and try to come up with a new method is nothing but innovation. It really matters, even though it is a little thing, it matters a lot if it is concerned with the human behavior, because acceptance is a big deal. That also he says. Generally, we don't accept things so quickly. Innovations have to be adopted, otherwise they go fail. Whether or not an idea is objective, new as measured by the amount of time amount of the time elapsed since its first use of discovery. So, the idea is born and how much time it has been taken in between also matters a lot. You have a good idea, but it's not been adopted, it goes waste. That is what he is trying to tell. It is a newness of the idea to the individual that determines his reactions to it. So, there are some people, whatever comes in the market, they would definitely like to have it in their pocket, but there are so many things that are not being accepted. So, here in this concept, he also tried to tell that adoption levels of the people, there is certain set of people who immediately accept it, and there is certain level of people who do not accept it so quickly. So, the time of the innovation birth from the time of adoption, how much time it takes, it depends upon the effectiveness. That is what he says. As we go into detail, we will try to understand it more. However, an innovation is no more just an idea, it is also a practice and object perceived as new by an individual. Indeed, by the third edition, he began to use a word technology as a synonym for innovation, and today technology is everywhere. We adopt technology. There were no iPhones and these kind of Androids earlier. People used to use traditional methods of communications, but today we all are tech savvy and we use all the technology in our daily lives. So, adoption is very important. That is what Rogers says. And then urge the adoption of the convergence model, means you merge so many things into that. Now, we just not only use mobile phone only for phone calls, we also use it for videographies, we also use for photographs, we also use for internet. So convergence, including so many things together, also is an important element that he was talking about. And communication networks that are in operation during the process of diffusion. So like that, it will start spreading. In the mid of 1970s, Rogers proclaimed the passing of the dominant paradigm. So at that point of time, Western culture and Western ideologies were highly adopted by the Indians in terms of agriculture, lifestyle, many things. But he said modernization does not mean that you have to copy the Western world. Okay, it has to be according to your own requirement. You adopt the modernization, diffusion, excluding in his own diffusion of innovation model, the basic principle of which were derived from the United States experiences of agricultural extension. So he himself felt that you should take the concepts from the Western world, but could not completely be dependent on them, apply them. You have to Indianize them or to the country you belong to. He propagated his model of modernization in developing countries, urging that it had a cross-cultural application. Rogers' work was in fact an extension of Lerner's notion of empathy and also attitude change. His unit of analysis was the individual, and his main concern was with the social mind and the change of culture, attitude and ideas. Today also we have so many people who do not accept the change immediately. They need a lot of time to accept the new changes that happen in the society. So how is it different from the two-step flow of model of communication? So we have something called like one-step flow, two-step flow of communication. So in two-step flow of communication, we have some concept called like opinion leaders who influence people. So here he talks about that diffusion goes beyond the two-step flow of communication. It centers on the conditions that increases and decreases the likeliness that an innovation will be adopted by a member of a culture. Now if you have opinion leaders are nothing but the people whom you listen to you when you wanted to change. You just don't change because you wanted to, you definitely change because somebody tells you the importance of it. That could be your peer, dear family members or your friends or anybody whom you are close to. If they tell it is a good product to be utilized in your farming sector, you would apply it, or by your own eyes you see there are something miracles happening in the farming land of your neighbors, you would then go and purchase certain products and then use it. So he is trying to compare this theory with the two-step flow of theory, so where opinion leaders play an important, but he says diffusion and innovation is beyond that. If a person likes and wanted to apply that, this innovation will definitely make him to apply and approach it. And the key concepts is a change agent. The importance of diffusion of innovation, any change. Agriculture today is using all modern technologies and methodologies. It is not no more in the traditional way. How this change happened? Definitely by the influence of many factors. Multi-step diffusion, the opinion leader still has a large influence on the society, but there is also another intermediately called the change agent. The change agent is something who encourages an opinion leader to adopt or reject an innovation. That could be even mass media also. The main idea of this diffusion of innovation explains how over a period of time an idea or a product gains momentum and spreads through a specific population or social system. If we take an example of social media only, social media was introduced in the years of 1990s, so but today you see social media everywhere, but in 2000s it was only with a very limited of people, and many people did not even willing to accept the social media. Today without WhatsApp, without YouTube, without Instagram, people are not spending their days, but earlier they were existing from 1990s onwards, they were existing, but in this 2020s and after that only, after COVID the usage is more. Many studies says after COVID the usage of internet and all these social media platforms have increased. That is because the momentum has spread through a specific population or social system after a period of time. This was identified by Rogers in 1940s only, you imagine, which means it is applicable even in 2025 also, 26 also. So how well they have understood the mindset of the people is what it says. So now applying the diffusion of innovation in the digital age, diffusion of innovation works as same way but much faster, right? We have so many new applications, apps, AI tools and social media platforms that can reach millions within days. It doesn't even take any years also, but opinion leaders are now in social media influencers. Today we call them as influencers or YouTubers or tech bloggers. So, what they say, there are many youth who follow them, they adopt their technologies, and digital change agents like target ads and push notifications algorithms replace human messengers. So, all this is nothing but part of diffusion of innovation only. Okay, the barriers to adopt include lack of internet access. If you don't get internet only, you won't be able to use. Otherwise, whoever is getting internet access, all of them are using. Digital literates they are becoming. Fear of new, there is no fear of new technology. Maybe if there are somebody who is fear of technology, security aspects, they may not use it. That's what they are saying. But a lot of people are adopting the 5 stages, which is first having awareness about a product, and then having an interest on it, then evaluating whether it is suitable to me or not, giving a small trial, and finally adopting it. These 4 stages, whether it is agriculture or it is your personal life or a product, anything applies commonly. So, still apply, but happen at lightened speed. It depends upon the product that you are using, it speed depends on that. The theory remains highly relevant and only the channels have changed. So, diffusion of innovation explains how new ideas, products or practices spread through a population over time. In the digital age, this process has accelerated dramatically, with social media influencers replacing traditional opinion leaders. The concept is still there, but in a different form. Today, we call them as influencers, as I said, algorithm acting as a change agents, and the 5 stages, which are awareness, interest, evaluation and trial and adoption, remain valid, but now happen in days rather than years. So, ultimately the theory is timeless, only the channel and speed have evolved in over connected world. So, this theory is applicable till today, though it was introduced in 1940 and has lot of influence in society in all aspects. Thank you so much.